Hey guys, how you doing? It's Ben. Thanks for tuning back in. I want to talk about 5 qualities that are going to help you become a successful drummer. Number 1, probably the most important, timekeeping. Your ability to keep a steady tempo that feels good for the other musicians that you're playing with. It's our job, it's what we're there to do as drummers, is to keep the time, to keep the pulse, and to keep the music moving. Now, practicing with a metronome is the best way to develop your internal clock, because you can't cheat a metronome. You know, if you just rely on what's in your head and what feels like it's in time, then I think you'll find that the natural ebb and flow that we have as humans will prevent you from really being able to tell whether you're in time or not. So you've got to use that metronome. You know, it's really simple to get one, plenty of free apps. Just go on the App Store, whatever phone you've got, and download a free metronome and put it on and just listen to that beep, 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 and play along and really, really listen to the metronome, because that's the secret. Listen to the metronome, listen to how your playing lines up with that, and look for those moments where, you know, you either fall out of time or you're playing just sort of before or after the metronome. And it's that paying attention and that attention to detail and correcting that that's going to actually improve your timekeeping. So number 1, your ability to keep time will absolutely determine whether you get hired as a drummer. All right, number 2, stylistic awareness. I mean, understanding different genres and kind of what's appropriate in each genre to play. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't change it up, absolutely, but you need to understand the basics of each genre. So what's a funk beat? How does that differ to a rock beat? And how do they differ to like a blues 6/8 feel? You know, what are the principles of jazz and how does that feel? You know, metal. What is it about metal drumming that makes it metal? You know, all these kind of things are so important to have an understanding of, so that when you get in a variety of musical situations, you can at least have a starting point. You know, you can at least play something that everyone is going to be on the same page with, and then you can, you know, mold it around what you're looking for. There's nothing worse than, you know, if you join a band or you jam with some people and they're playing something and you're just like, I don't really even know what I'm supposed to be playing here. If you listen to a lot of music and you become stylistically aware, it's going to give you so many more reference points that you can call on for when you get into those musical situations. So absolutely, number 2, stylistic awareness and having, you know, a wide library of music in your head. All right, the third thing you need to have to be a successful drummer is the ability to listen to the music and to listen to the people that you're playing with. It's absolutely essential. And when you hear the difference between, you know, beginners, intermediate players, and people that have been playing for a long time, one of the things that really stands out is you can hear that they're not listening to themselves or the people that they're playing with. So this is just vital. I can't stress it enough. When you're playing, you need to develop the ability to listen to what's happening around you so that you can adapt and change what you're playing. Because otherwise, you're just playing your favorite licks and grooves and chops and fills over anything, really. If you're not listening, you know, it could be anything, couldn't it? So develop your concentration and your ability to separate just listening to yourself and listening to other people that you're playing with. And it will make a massive difference when you're jamming with other musicians, because you'll actually be able to respond appropriately to what they're playing. Okay, so we've touched on 3 kind of playing attributes that I think you should have to be a successful drummer. And now the next one, number 4, is more of a way that you behave, the way that you hold yourself. You really do need to be on time, hardworking, and friendly. So I guess that's 3 in 1 for number 4, if you know what I mean. So be that person that is there on time. If you're in a new situation, you know, you've got an audition for a band that you're gonna join, or you know, you've just picked up a new gig, just absolutely make sure that you're there early. Set up in advance. You know, I've been in a few situations where I've got there early, set up, and the person's been like, oh wow, you're already set up. And it just creates such a professional tone straight away. And then you need to be hardworking in those situations. That will absolutely stand out, you know, because if you could have comparable skill to somebody else, but if that person's lazy and kind of turns up a bit late and they, you know, don't help carry gear around and they just kind of sit around, versus you who's like, hey, anything need doing, I'm already set up, you know, you've learned the parts, you're on point, can I help with anything? That just creates such a different tone. So being hardworking, absolutely, it's gonna create a really good impression. And then finally, just being friendly. Like, don't take yourself too seriously. Take what you do seriously in terms of your craft, but don't take yourself too seriously. Like, be lighthearted, be fun, you know, gauge the situation, but have a laugh, because, you know, it's good to break the ice, particularly in new situations. So think about those 3 things. If you're on time or early, set up, good to go, prepared, hard working on the day, willing to help, and really friendly and just chilled, and then you've got those first 3 points down in terms of your playing, you know, that's a really good place to be in terms of getting more work. All right, last one, number 5. It really helps to be aware of the industry that you're in. Now, we're in the music industry, and what I mean is you should learn about how that industry works and learn about how the work that you're doing in that industry works. It just really helps for when you're negotiating fees, or you're doing a deal, or you know, you want to make sure that the terms that you're getting hired under are fair and right. But it also helps for you to set your expectations of what you should be delivering as well. So I would really encourage you to educate yourself about the music industry. Educate yourself by spending time with people that are already doing what it is that you want to do, and get a feel for how they go about it themselves, you know, what mistakes they've made, and kind of just how they conduct their aspect of business, because it will make an enormous difference if you're not there kind of umming and ahhing about how this should be going down. If you're already prepped and you're like, yeah, I know how this works, I know what's expected of me, and I know what to expect of you. So being aware of the industry that you're in and how your skills fit into that and what to expect from that working situation is going to absolutely sort you out. So just to recap, 5 things you can do to increase your chances of being a successful drummer. Number 1, timekeeping. Practice to a metronome, get that internal clock bang on. Number 2, develop stylistic awareness. Listen to lots of genres of music, learn how the drums work in that genre so you can have a framework when you're in new situations. Number 3, learn to listen to other people, learn to listen to the players around you so that you're not just focusing on yourself and playing, you know, in your own head. Number 4, make sure that the attitude that you have and how you come across is professional, on time, hardworking, friendly, and just a good person to be around. And finally, number 5, understand the industry that you're in and how what you're doing in it should work. So whether you're playing in a function band, or you're writing a song for somebody, or you're teaching somebody some lessons, understand how that works and what's expected of you and what you can expect in return, so that you don't have as many surprises and questions up front. So there you go. Thanks for watching. I hope this was useful. Anything you can do to be prepared and ahead of the game and just to come across as someone that's just on top of their stuff is going to really, really help you. So the best of luck with whatever it is that you're going to go out and do. Go and smash it.